Thank you.
Talk.
Okay. Okay.
So, as promotional photos or something like
No,
that?
thumbnail, thumbnail.
Thumbnails.
Yeah,
That's a promotional thing.
yeah.
thumbnail.
It is. I mean, instead of putting me in a really hot looking lady, we're just gonna put a bunch of, weird dudes.
Right. Check, testing on the microphone, man. Here I am, loud and clear. Clearly loud.
Can you check the time here?
Yeah, it's okay.
It's okay.
Thank you. Smiley guy here, very tired and hungry. Not really motivated to talk about whatever the topic is.
Get motivated.
Eh.
We used to say.
Oh, that's my song recap. Okay, that's different kind of motivation. Bottom 5 by Movie Like Jagger. No, sorry, just joking. Wow, nice nice song. Yeah, bro.
Is it?
I think Peter, you do.
Remind me, what is this? Maroon 5's Dennis song.
Moves Like Jagger.
I didn't know they wrote a song about Dennis.
Yeah,
Oh, it's Moves Like Jagger. That is your song.
Woohoo!
You're going to have to do the actual dance.
In a studio?
Yeah, I think so.
Join
You're
me.
on camera right now,
Join
so
me.
why don't you practice right now so we all get to see what we're going to see.
We're just going to giggle and laugh at your performance while you're doing your move. Let's have a smoky studio.
For listening to this song, I've never really looked up. You could probably search on the YouTube and find a clip of Mick Jagger, right? Doing his dance. I don't know. I can't even imagine what it is, right? I just know that Rolling Stones are super high energy, right? So he's one of those run-around types, right? He doesn't have an instrument or anything. He's just moving.
Welcome back. Now it's time for our part 2 where we're discussing media trends. Every week we talk about a different media trend and we have a live show with Talk and Talk. We have in the studio, we have Tim, Dennis, and Peter. Hello guys, how you all doing?
Hey, happy Sunday. Hello. Good morning. How you doing today, James? Always. You're sleeping. It's time to wake up. I'm not sleeping. I just see my eyes are open all the time. Anyway, James, how you doing today?
I'm okay.
You're good?
Yeah.
Okay, you look so
happy. I do?
Yeah. Hey, the coronavirus and you're so happy. What happened?
He just had a great interview, so that's what makes a host happy.
Personally, I'm so sad because Peter's lost.
Listeners, I have some sad news.
Yeah,
it is Peter's last show with us.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that myself. I wish Peter well.
Yeah, we're gonna miss the Peter guy whenever. We don't see him around here. I'm gonna miss you. Just letting you have a big plan, right? You wanna, participate in Democratic.
I have, yes, very ambitious plans to cure coronavirus and then run for the Democratic nomination to battle President Trump.
So via Wuhan City
for the presidency of the United States.
Right? Okay, so that means we're not gonna see each other again, right?
I'll be back on my world tour.
Oh, really?
Yes, absolutely.
Can I do an exclusive interview once you're elected president?
We'll have to do a handshake deal on that. Yeah, absolutely. I look forward to it.
Well, I'll vote for you. I'm not American, but I'll vote.
Wait a minute, isn't that illegal?
Okay, shall we get into today's topic?
Yeah, we are ready. We are ready to enjoy.
Okay, so today we're going to talk about Korean TV shows featuring expats. So you can find expats in Korean media very easily nowadays. Until a few years ago, foreigners who appeared in traditional ways, such as shows like Foreigners Who Are Good At blah blah blah, or Foreigners Who Live in Korea and speak Korean very well. But now we're seeing them more and more. So, what do you think about today's topic?
I think it's pretty exciting and interesting topic because several years there is a big main media company that shows kind of thing non-summit, like that, and different nationalities just gathered and had a very nice talk. It was very constructive. But now it doesn't go anymore, right? And then might be different format right? And kind of format is really nice because it's really rich and chance to understand each other.
Oh, what?
Well, thank you. I can understand you have this approach to try to be kind of a universal peacemaker
Peace.
Oh
approach.
yes,
All
yes,
right,
that was
all
there.
right,
But
peace.
I was so
I
listening.
kind of feel
You're
like
touched. Oh my God.
there's a semantic issue because what is an expat, right? What's a foreigner? Um, Korea has a habit of using the word foreigner that's a little bit different than in most countries in the sense that
That's right.
all non-Koreans are considered foreigners,
Mm.
and that word is often used in sort of Wegu
Mm.
reference. Is common in Korea and not so much common in other countries. And some Westerners are even sensitive to being called foreigners in the way that I'm not sure exactly what, um, but maybe call in and let us know if you're offended by this term foreigner. Um, and then the word expat is actually very specific, right? It doesn't mean foreigner necessarily at all. It means someone that has moved here intentionally to make a living.
Right. Well, an expat implies that they live here and they intend to stay.
Right, exactly. Versus, someone who's a refugee, who is probably a temporary person that's come here, against their will in some cases.
Right.
Migrants, obviously, they intend to stay to make money, but they want to return to their home country, probably. So there's all these different types of quote unquote foreigners in Korea with these different statuses, and we're talking about celebrity status today, I think. So that's why expats, expatriates get this kind of celebrity status. And I noticed that right away when I moved here, probably 10 or 12 years ago, the first time I came to Korea, was that, oh, I have this, because I'm, white looking and non Asian, I have this sort of celebrity status. People turn their heads and notice me and kind of give me a smile. Americans, I like Americans, that kind of thing, even they might be under their breath, cursing me, but
But
they pretend to like me.
I think you're right. I think any new foreigners, you don't quite know what it was like. As you said, 10. I mean, I came 14 years ago. That's a time ago. How many times you'd have to say hello every day?
Yes, right.
Just walking to work, I would say hello, 100 times because every student, every child, I would walk past me on the street, would say hello.
Yeah, they want to practice their English. They want to get a
In
little
Korea.
Yeah.
fame.
So you have to
Well,
say
I mean,
in English.
Well, they would say hello and I'd say hello back, and that would be the extent of it. But I mean, now when I walk down the street, no one really bats an eye.
Uh,
I mean, some people do turn, some people do say hello,
uh-huh.
but nothing like it was 14 years ago.
uh, uh, does the people on the street just ask you just hello and that's it, or just English practice kind of like that?
Yeah,
You got
pretty
the
much
kind
so.
of feeling, right?
Well, I
Kind
mean,
of weird, right?
I mean, it's quite possible I was the first foreigner they'd ever seen in real life.
Uh-huh.
So that yeah,
Definitely got that impression walking around Korea. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I mean, that was fine. The one I didn't really like was the old people who would stop mid track and follow me with their eyes, with the look like narrowed eyes, as if I was about to steal something from them. As I
I
walked
got it.
past.
All right. You worried about it, right? The on side of the local Korean, because maybe most of the Korean have the kind of the strong desire to speak in English, right, to foreigners and to improve their English. Maybe that's one of the reasons why they ask hello, right, hi, right.
Oh yeah.
You guys sounds like a guys from 1990s.
Well, yeah, I am.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, I'm
This
talking
is the
about Dennis
old
too.
show. We should rename it.
Or it's time to hear from millennial. Okay, go ahead.
Old talk.
All right,
Old
all
talk.
right, all right.
Let's hear
Actually,
from the young one here.
Yeah.
to be
Yeah.
honest,
What are you
we're
gonna say, Sonny? You got a big smile on your face today.
that is
Don't
true.
call us boomers, okay?
I even wasn't even thinking about that. I think that term is actually kind of stupid. I mean, but we have only like a few seconds before the song break, so I
Yeah, we
think
should
we
get
should
back to it.
actually, after the song break, we should focus on our current topic
Already,
today,
right?
because current topic is, do Korean shows now they reflect diversity in them or not? And are they like perfectly doing their job? So rather than sucking ourselves into nostalgia, maybe we can talk about that.
Well, we'll try. Listen, I'm
Mhm.
interested to hear what your negative opinion is going to be.
Whoa, whoa! Why do people always assume that I'm negative? I cannot
Stepping
really
up.
tell. I mean,
So-
look at me, I'm smiling.
Anyway, Tim, you are right. It is time for our song break. So, Dennis, it's your request.
Yeah,
this week.
actually, that's my request, but I don't just what Peter what I want
Oh,
Peter
Dennis's
to
request
recommend.
is Maroon
Because
5
yeah, Peter is
Boobs Like Jagger,
That's good. That's good. All right.
the classic,
Yeah, right.
the popular,
Mhm.
the famous, the infamous.
I was
Boobs Like
encouraging
Jagger.
people to wear the actual Jagger suit while dancing too. I've seen it once. It was nice.
Mick Jagger still lives among us.
Still
Mhm.
lives?
70s, yeah. Yeah, they're still probably performing, as far as I know.
Damn.
I don't think they'll ever stop until until Mick Jagger has gone.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah, we are ready.
Sure.
Always.
Okay, so let's keep talking about today's topic. And Tim, you wanted to get right back into it. So why don't you tell us what do you think about today's topic?
I mean, it is true, as you guys, I don't know which one of you actually mentioned because I wasn't really listening, but I think, oh yeah, sure. I think it is true, like you guys said, that a lot of more foreigners are appearing on the TV shows, especially more different kind of,
Well,
people.
can I ask back to semantics, because more foreigners are appearing on Korean shows, but do you mean more expatriates, expats, or do you mean
Yeah, what's
more,
exactly
more,
the difference between
yeah,
expatriate
representing the
and,
migrant community,
just
or
foreigners?
yeah, what is a foreigner exactly? You can't just use
Expatriate
that
only
word.
for refugee,
Uh,
or just for labor, or what?
Well, foreign is just a very general term.
Uh,
It means someone who is not of this place.
Yeah.
it includes just
Whereas
getting money.
expat implies someone who has moved here and intends to live here for a prolonged period of time.
I thought
to
it was
get a
actually
kind of
called immigrant for that.
Again, immigrant. I mean, so many terms and they
Mm,
overlap.
mm, mm.
Immigrant is another term for someone who has moved,
to live.
changed their country.
Oh,
Mm.
wow, they didn't call me immigrant for that. Oh, okay.
Oh, that's a good point. So expats,
To live
they,
for a
they
while.
keep their nationality.
Expats keep their nationality,
Expats keep their
But-
nationality. That's the main
but
thing.
they are going to live here for a
Right.
long time. I mean, back to the topic. I think
Okay.
the foreigners on the shows, they would mainly be classed as expats. I would guess. I don't know them because I should imagine most of them have kept their nationality.
Actually, that's the part I was going for.
Oh,
So,
is it? Okay. Yeah, go ahead, carry on.
yeah, I mean, a lot of foreigners, or as you say, expats and immigrants, whenever, people who are not Koreans anyway, are appearing on the TV show more often nowadays. And it used to be people who are, like a little popular, who are, related to the celebrities, or, who are like embodied by the, KBS or, big TV studios. But nowadays, people are featuring more people that are not only, people who came from another country to work here, but also people who are married to Koreans, or actually change their citizenship into being Korean and featuring more diverse population in South Korea. However, I still would like to question. I don't think we should question about does the show reflect in a diversity. I think we should question something else before that question. Like, do Korea actually is, taking caring of this diverse population? Are they laws to support these people? Not just showing people in public or on TV saying, "Hey, we're having more foreigners or native speakers, immigrants, whenever they're coming to our country, and we're getting more diverse." But does our system is actually supporting them and ready to accept these people as a part of society? Now, I think that's quite different kind of question.
Yeah,
I
very
agree.
different.
Yeah. You're right.
I don't watch the shows. Who has seen television here in Korea?
Yeah, I'm saying.
Lately, I
Except
mean,
you.
I have
Good
not. I don't-
hands up
yeah.
for radio there, but well done, guys.
But has
Okay,
it
come
changed
on.
much? Like in the last? Can you
Yes,
gauge it?
it definitely
5 years,
has.
10 years?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dennis talked about a show. I'm afraid
Oh, it
I,
was
can't
Dennis.
What's the meeting?
Uh,
What?
I can't remember the
Yeah.
Korean name of it, but it was like a UN style show.
Yeah. 비정상회담.
Oh,
So
okay.
there was
That's old though.
it is well that's my point. That was the old style was
Okay.
that there was three Korean hosts, and then
You're
each
right.
side there was almost like a member of the UN.
You're right.
So there was people from different countries, and they'd have the flag in front of them,
Oh yeah.
and they would talk about what it was like in their country for the topic they were talking about.
Influent Korean.
Yes,
Yeah.
they were all absolutely fluent Koreans.
Yeah,
Whereas
it's
now
really
shows I've noticed it's just a show, and just one of the people on the shows is a foreigner.
Mm.
The fact that they're a foreigner is not the reason they're on the show. They're on the show just because they're a celebrity or personality or talent.
Right.
That's the change I've noticed.
Yeah, and the show was really meaningful and had the big power to open the new gate, right?
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
it was
you're
my
right.
wife's
Since
favorite
then,
show
yeah,
for quite some
you're
time.
Yeah, what's that stuff back in the military now?
So as a foreigner, we might say it's nice to be recognized as a person, as a talent rather than just as an individual
Exactly.
who has, moved here as a foreigner.
Mm. And it changed the Koreans kind of the perception and the foreigners because before that show, the Korean people just thought that okay, foreigners should speak in English, but since then the Korean people changed their mind. Oh,
Ooh,
they can speak Korean, so
interesting.
it's really comfortable to just have conversation with them. Yeah, just the show changed it. I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
Ah,
the
that's
reality
the.
is that there are many, many
just my opinion.
No,
non-Koreans
you're right.
speaking
You're
Korean
right.
these days, especially with sort of K-pop kind of phenomenon. The K wave is really what I'm talking about.
Mm,
And so
right.
even overseas, you have, non-Koreans studying the language and attempting to communicate, speak. It's
Yeah.
not just, expat celebrities on television. So in that sense, it doesn't represent the reality of the amount of interest in Korean language and culture um, across the Asian world, especially. So I would argue no, on the point that no, it's not representative.
I mean, yeah,
Simply, or
K-pop. Yeah, sorry, not really big fan of the K-pop. But I also wanted to make another point. Like, I was talking about do Korea actually have a system to support this diverse population? And what I mean by that, yes, it is true. There are more, more people from the other countries showing on Korean TV shows, and therefore Korean people are now becoming more normalized the presence of other people from the other countries.
You're
I
right.
mean,
You're right.
you don't see a lot of people just going eyeing them, those foreigners or native speaker, whenever walking around the downtown area that much, because they're like, we have many foreigners now. It's not like that rare sight. But at the same time, a lot of TV shows not usually feature or show any people of the minority that are suffering under this system of the
Mm,
hierarchy. For example, like how many Filipino people do you see on the Korean TV shows?
That is
that
true.
was
yeah.
part of my
Yes.
point, right?
Or
Very heavy
Filipinos
part.
are
Southeast
very
Asian,
underrepresented. Yeah.
portray like good people. I mean, I saw some show featuring like Filipino wives and Southeast Asian wives who married to Korean and talking about their opinions about Korea from time to time. But that is not really close to the other shows who are featuring those foreigners who came here for touring purposes or just for the short time working contract. These are more common than they actually, mentioning about the problem we have as a society and how we are actually generally treating
And
them.
they're going to become more and more common too. So I think that's a really
Yeah,
valid point.
but I don't think people
Yeah.
really want to talk about bad
Non-Korean
things that we
labor.
are doing in Korea. It's like, oh, people, we are all so nice and dandy here. We're not doing anything wrong.
Are there any shows that do represent the sort of labor approach to any issue in Korea?
There's just
I mean,
some several the documentary rights they just show, but it's not enough rights. Everybody at home knows it's really a necessary topic, but it's already sensitive, right? Sensitive matter. So we have to be waiting for kind of a little bit more timing.
Maybe I'm not an expert on Korean TV, but I'm not going to say there isn't. But I've never seen any.
Yeah.
But like I said, I do hope in the future that that will be the next step.
Yeah, right.
So we've introduced foreigners onto Korean TV as a foreigner. Then the next step is that they just become the person, and then the next step is that
It's
we
getting
can see
wider.
the negatives
You're right. You're right.
for foreigners in Korean society.
Start off positive side, and then go into the negative side,
Well,
critical side.
a labor perspective across the spectrum of any, whether you're a foreign or not, or Korean, should, I think, would be very welcome. Is maybe not for commercial purposes, but for getting a real perspective about, any issue in Korea. I would welcome that and try to watch that show.
See, folks, I don't say always negative stuff. I actually give a factual opinion
Good
sometimes.
job.
So unfortunately, guys, we run out of time.
Oh, really?
That was all. Yeah.
About time. I mean,
10 more
It's that
minutes. 10
time.
more minutes.
10 more minutes.
So
10 more,
that is
more
all for
years.
our Talk and Talk segment with Tim, Dennis, and Peter discussing media trends. So personally, I want to say a big thank you.
No,
Peter.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you,
You're welcome.
GFN, for all you've done for me.
Yeah, thanks for being on the show every week and being such a great guest.
He told us he will be back. Be
Oh
back,
yeah.
right?
Oh sure, you'll come back, right?
Right?
You'll come
You'll
back
be back.
sometime, no?
dot.
We'll see. We'll see. Open-ended answer.
Okay. So
Mm.
I'll see you two next week.
All right. See you next
Maybe
week.
see you around
Thank you
sometime,
for having
Peter.
us.
Yeah. So have a good Sunday.
Oh, yeah. Have a good
Goodbye.
Sunday too. I will.
Absolutely.
Bye
Bye,
bye.
folks.
Talk and talk. Goodbye, talk, listeners.
Wait a minute. Talk and Talk is our name of the show?
I think it is. Our segment is talk and talk, right?
This way.
That sounds lame now.
기로 사진 한번 찍어야 되는데.
Goodbye, talk and talk, listeners.
네. 자, 이거 한번.
Goodbye, chair, falling down chair. I want to take you home with me.
Uh-oh.
Why don't you take a
I remember when I
take a
was
picture?